What's going on, guys? Failed to listen. Welcome back to more Failed Thoughts, and in this video we're going to talk about the Xbox One .5 or Scorpio, whatever code name Microsoft is rolling with at this point. We don't actually know much of anything. We have no confirmation from Microsoft, just a few details on the specs for this thing, and again, it's just leaks, just rumors. I think in some ways, because Phil Spencer did come out yesterday and say something to the effect of, there's a lot of creative talk that's happened today, and you'll know more about our history and future at E3. Something like that. I'm just paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I want to say that in many ways he acknowledged that this stuff was true. Some of it, I think the Slim is definitely going to happen with Sony and Microsoft. I think you're going to have a slim version of what they already have with the vanilla PS4 and the vanilla Xbox One. And then you're going to have these new consoles that are probably also probably also look just like the slim versions of those consoles, but have the superior hardware with the Neo and the Scorpio. I think, especially with the Neo, guys, like with the Neo, that thing is almost like a 99.9% done deal, because we have had way more leaks and way more talk. Even Digital Foundry, I think, confirmed with their sources that this thing was real and this thing was happening, and they dedicated a couple of videos talking about what you might expect from the architecture and just the overall hardware of the PlayStation Neo in general. So what we have with the Scorpio, if these leaks are to be believed, is that you do have a console that is considerably more powerful than what Sony has given us with the Neo. Again, no confirmation from Sony or Microsoft, so we don't really know for sure. But if the leaks on both are to be believed, Microsoft would have the most powerful console. And yes, that absolutely matters. And for some people, yes, it does mean a purchase, a new purchase, a first-time purchase. There's going to be a lot of upset people when these things are announced. I totally get it, but it's like I told a guy last night that made a video, and it's understandable, right? But like when we buy a console, if you're one of the first that do it in the first, say 2 or 3 years, if you buy one of these consoles, you're almost asking to get screwed, because while we've never really had a situation where we're getting, like say a better CPU, a GPU, more RAM, faster RAM, whatever the case may be, we do have situations where you get more hard drive space and maybe some better features, or sometimes they even strip some of those features away. But you're almost asking to get screwed in a lot of ways when you're an early adopter of a console, or really not even just consoles, but a lot of tech in general, right? Like you're asking for that to happen, and it is unfortunate, but for me, it's exciting. Maybe that's just the PC gamer in me, and I do upgrade my PC from time to time, every couple of years or something, with the keyboard and the mouse, maybe a little more so, a little more often than that, but that's a different conversation. But I think it's exciting. I think it's a good time to be a gamer. Rich of Review Tech USA, thank you very much for the shout out last night, where you discussed our conversation on Twitter. I really appreciate that. Rich has got like almost 500,000 subscribers or something, and whether you got 500,000 or like 17, in any little bit helps. And as far as I'm concerned, I appreciate that on this channel. It doesn't, if you like my content, you like my content, you're gonna give me a shout out if you feel like doing so. And it's my subscriber count did get a little bit of a boost overnight, so I do appreciate that. I think, guys like Rich, while he'll probably end up getting both of these, he's a little concerned. He thinks that this generation is kind of a mess. There's all kinds of flip-flopping, and, these companies can't make up their mind in a lot of ways, and we just don't really, I think what's really crazy is you have to wonder with the Scorpio and the Neo, what in the hell companies that have been working on games for, say, the last year and a half, 2 years, or maybe longer are thinking at this point. Rockstar's got to be working on a Red Dead game, or like early stages of a GTA 6 or something, and they're probably like, the hell are we supposed to do with these? Like, we were trying to code these games, program for these games on this console, not this console, and now we want to take advantage of this hardware. And I think that's another thing people are worried about, is like, while Sony and Microsoft may tell you, right? They may tell you that the vanilla PS4 and the vanilla Xbox One will still get all games that come out through the remainder of the generation, if we're even really gonna have generations anymore. That may be a lie, right? A lot of people fear that, like, in a year or two, those consoles will be rendered irrelevant, and only the more powerful consoles will get certain games. Maybe not all of the games will be only available to the Neo and the Scorpio, but like some of the more demanding stuff just may no longer be possible on PS4 and Xbox One. We don't know. But if the one rumor, the one leak from Sony is to be believed, I think they did say something like they could only do things like, make the performance better, have better frame rate, have better visuals. They couldn't like give exclusive features like trophies and things like that to the Neo version of the game. So that probably also says that they would have to make a version for both that worked on both. But you're still going to have a lot of people that are upset that their version is not running as well as their friend Robert down the road. You know what I mean? Like Robert, his family is maybe a little more well off and able to afford that thing out of the gate. And little Timmy can't get it out of the gate. And he's stuck on the, 30 frames per second, 900p version that drops to 25, 24, 23 frames or something. And Robert's got the solid 60 at 1080p version. Stuff like that could happen. And while I think people will get over it, I think people will adjust. We don't have that fight here on PC. I don't think you would find a lot of cases on some forums where people would be pissed off and acting like big babies because, when you game on PC that people have better hardware than you, right? I have a pretty nice machine, but I also realize that there are people with better machines than me and people that have superior monitors and that can run higher frame rates than me, and they have it better than I do. I like my setup. I'm perfectly fine with that. More is always better. But better is also a subjective word. So I don't know what's going to happen. I just think it's kind of exciting. And what else is there to say? Like, what more can we say without actual confirmation? And I think let me just say this. There are some people that believe with having the most powerful console, if this is true, if Microsoft ends up having the most powerful console in the market, that that puts them back in the running, or it could get them even with Sony in terms of hardware sales. And I'm not so sure. I don't know I think power is definitely a factor. Power and graphics absolutely matter, and that will sell it for some people, existing owners as well as new owners. But it's other things too. It's about where your friends are. It's about word of mouth, and I think Microsoft needs a little bit more than that. I think they need the Scorpio announcement. I think it needs to be true that it is the most powerful console. I think they need one or two third-party exclusives to the Xbox/PC ecosystem that they're going to have going on, and that's another thing. So if they had the Scorpio announcement, the most powerful console announcement, if they announced something big like Xbox Live being free and maybe one or two huge well-known third-party games coming to Xbox and PC only, I still don't know if that's enough, right? I don't know if I already brought this up. Maybe I did. I think it was Microsoft, right, that said the first to 10 million is usually the winner, and that's Sony. Like, Sony has dominated this generation. They have absolutely dominated this generation, and I think that even if the Neo is considerably weaker than the Scorpio, I think just based on people being happy with their PlayStation purchase now and it selling as well as it has, that continues. But I mean, I could be wrong. I think better. Just having more competition and Microsoft having the more powerful console and making other moves along with that, does a lot. And it only means good things for consumers, not fanboys, right? Fanboys are going to be unhappy about a lot of this stuff because they're only loyal to one of these companies that somehow they think actually give a damn about them and their stupid loyalty. So for those that, want to game on multiple platforms and experience maybe not a little bit of everything, but at least a couple of I don't own all platforms. Like, I don't have all the handhelds. I don't game on my phone. I don't have an Xbox One. I have access to an Xbox One, but I have my PC and I have a PlayStation 4, and I would probably get both of these, right? If Microsoft made the deal pretty sweet. I said I would never buy an Xbox One, but I didn't say I would never buy an Xbox Scorpio. So I don't know. Who knows what they're gonna call this thing? I'm rambling at this point. This video is super long. This is almost as long as the Doom review that I did. Speaking of reviews, the next review probably will be The Witcher 3, and I'll talk a great deal about that game once I've completed it. I am enjoying it. Played it for a few more hours last night, and I think that's going to be the video. Did I give Rich a shout out and a thank you for giving me a shout out? I think I did. I probably repeated myself a number of times. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really bad for that. I apologize. Did I just apologize like 5 times in like 30 seconds? Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Take care. Peace.
You'll never learn.